Welcome back to The Life with the Browns. Cody Brown may have just crossed a line so serious it could land him behind bars, and yet, the world seems eerily silent. This isn't a small fib, a petty fight, or the usual scripted reality TV drama.
No.
This is a revelation that screams potential federal mortgage fraud tied to a $1.6 million mansion, a kind of crime that carries penalties of up to 30 years in prison. Yes, 30 years. It all went down on a recent Sister Wives episode, where Cody casually let slip a detail that made anyone with even a passing understanding of mortgage law do a double take. He admitted that he paid back Janelle for the money she gave him and Robin to buy their house. On the surface, it sounds harmless, like a responsible husband settling a debt. But here's the bombshell: that money wasn't a loan. It was legally documented as a gift. A gift that, by law, never had to be repaid. By Cody's own admission, if he did pay her back, that means the money wasn't a gift at all. It was a loan that was misrepresented to a financial institution. And my friends, misrepresenting a gift as a loan to qualify for a mortgage? That's textbook mortgage fraud. For years, tension has been simmering beneath the surface, but this confession just tore the lid off the entire Brown family drama. Janelle, for years, has dropped careful hints about the money she fronted for Robin's house. Always measured, always cautious. Now we understand why. She can't demand it back without exposing the scheme. Robin, meanwhile, has perfected the role of the victim. She refuses to discuss Coyote Pass, avoids sitting down with the other wives, and insists that this was family money, belonging to everyone. But if it truly was family money, why is Cody now claiming he settled a debt with Janelle? Why would there even be a debt if it was never hers to begin with? The numbers don't add up, and the story keeps shifting depending on who's telling it. Here's what we know for certain. Cody and Robin put $222,000 down on their Flagstaff home in 2019. Janelle sold her personal property, a home Cody had no claim to, and handed over nearly $100,000 to help them. She signed a legally binding gift letter stating the money did not have to be repaid. And now, years later, Cody is on camera claiming he paid her back. That's not how gifts work. And if the FBI wanted to, they could easily investigate this. Let's rewind to the beginning of this financial mess. In 2019, Cody and Robin were hunting for their dream home, a massive Flagstaff estate worth nearly $1 million. While the other wives struggled in modest rentals, Cody and Robin were eyeing luxury. The problem? They didn't have enough money for the down payment. Enter Janelle, the family's self-proclaimed financial guru, the bookkeeper, the woman who supposedly understood money better than anyone else. Cody approached her with a proposition. Help us buy this home. Robin needs it, the family needs it, I need it. And Janelle, ever the loyal wife in this tangled plural marriage, agreed. She sold her personal home, not shared with Cody, not a joint asset, just her house, and gave them nearly $100,000. But here's the critical detail. To get the bank to approve the mortgage, that money had to be legally declared a gift. Without the gift letter, the loan would have been denied. The letter stated explicitly, this money does not need to be repaid, and it will not impact the buyer's debt-to-income ratio. With that in hand, Cody and Robin waltzed into their $1.6 million dream home, $222,000 down, and a fresh mortgage secured, seemingly above reproach. Until now. Because Cody just admitted he paid Janelle back. And that admission changes everything. Gifts that are repaid suddenly become loans. Loans that were hidden in gift letters become misrepresented to financial institutions. And misrepresentation? That's exactly the crime that could haunt him for decades. The Browns have always lived in drama, but this could be criminal. And the truth is slowly unraveling, one confession at a time. Meanwhile, Janelle has been left bouncing from one rental to another, patiently waiting for her turn, waiting for Cody to honor the promise he whispered so convincingly. Rumor has it, Cody assured her she would eventually get her money back, that once the Coyote Pass situation was resolved, she'd finally receive her piece of the pie. That he'd make things right. That he'd take care of her. But here's the catch. The paperwork says something very different.
It says gift.
And in the eyes of the law, that single word matters more than all the sweet promises, whispered assurances, and false smiles Cody ever offered. Fast forward to today, and Janelle is on camera admitting that she'll probably never see that money again. She calls it a dead issue, a chapter closed before it was ever fully written. She rattles off a billion reasons why Cody supposedly doesn't owe her a dime. And when her daughter Maddie suggests she fight for her rights, Janelle shrugs, almost dismissively, like it's a lost cause.
Why?
Because her lawyer almost certainly gave her the cold, hard truth. Once you sign a gift letter, it's legally binding. If she tries to argue it was really a loan, she's opening herself and Cody to serious legal trouble. Mortgage fraud. That's the game they're all trapped in now. If Cody admits he paid her back, he's admitting to mortgage fraud. If Janelle tries to reclaim it, she risks the same. The law doesn't care about family loyalty, whispered promises, or moral fairness. It cares about documents. And in this twisted family saga, the only winners are Cody and Robin, lounging in their Flagstaff mansion while Janelle takes the financial hit. But that, my friends, is only the tip of the betrayal iceberg. Now, let's turn to Robin, because her behavior throughout this entire Coyote Pass fiasco is a story in itself. She refuses to engage in any conversations about selling the property.
No meetings. No negotiations.
No discussions with Janelle, Christine, or Mary. She claims it's too toxic, too dangerous, too emotionally draining for her delicate constitution. She tells Cody she can't handle being in the same room with the other wives because the negativity and conflict are too much to bear. But here's where Robin's narrative starts to unravel. Because while she claims to be fragile and above the drama, her actions paint a much darker picture. Every move she makes screams control, avoidance, and self-preservation. While the rest of the family wrestles with legal documents, financial realities, and moral obligations, Robin has positioned herself above it all, untouchable, untied, untamed. And the truth is this: Robin isn't fragile, she's strategic. Every excuse, every whispered complaint, every retreat from the conversation is part of a calculated plan to protect herself, to guard the money she insists belongs to everyone, but is quietly keeping for her own benefit. In the world of the Browns, appearances can be deceiving. Promises can be broken. And a $100,000 gift turned potential fraud can quietly shift the balance of power. And Robin? She's sitting at the top, watching it all unfold, while the rest of the family scrambles to pick up the pieces. This is the same Robin Brown who had absolutely no problem sitting front row while Cody verbally eviscerated his other wives. She was right there when he screamed at Christine, twisting the knife with every word, soaking in every tear, every moment of emotional devastation. She sat beside him, tears streaming down her face, perfectly playing the victim while Christine crumbled under the weight of his tirade. Robin also had no issue being present when Cody tore into Janelle, yelling, berating, making her the target in front of cameras. She didn't call that toxic. She didn't call it dangerous. In fact, she seemed entirely comfortable egging him on, silently encouraging the chaos. So why now? Why, all of a sudden, is it too unsafe or too toxic for her to sit down with these same women when literally nothing violent or threatening has ever happened? Christine and Robin have shared rooms multiple times since the divorces. Everyone behaved civilly. There were no explosions, no screaming matches, no physical altercations. Yet Robin keeps weaponizing words like dangerous and unsafe, painting herself as the eternal victim who needs to be shielded from reality. Sources close to the situation say it's simple. Robin is avoiding these conversations for one reason, and one reason only: accountability. If she were forced to sit down, say on a tell-all special, she'd have to face 3 women who all endured the same neglect, the same favoritism, the same financial manipulation. The pattern would be undeniable. The theft, the swindling, the way she and Cody operated, it would all be laid bare. And Robin can't have that. She'd rather isolate herself, claim persecution, and refuse to engage than confront the uncomfortable truth. She benefited while the others suffered. She tells Cody that participating in these conversations makes her unwell, that it puts her in a bad emotional place. And Cody, ever the knight in shining armor for Robin, he accepts this excuse without question. He doesn't push back. He doesn't say, "Be an adult, handle your business." He shields her, keeps her insulated from conflict, and manages the fallout himself. But here's the reality. Robin doesn't want to be on record discussing the money. She doesn't want to answer questions about the gift letter, the down payment, or why she spent years claiming it was family money when it clearly wasn't. She doesn't want to explain why Janelle is out $100,000 while she enjoys a life of luxury. So, she hides behind claims of toxicity and danger, playing the fragile flower who simply can't withstand the stress of a simple business meeting. And honestly, that act is wearing thin. But the manipulation doesn't end there. Oh no, there's more to this story, and the layers of deceit are only getting thicker. Let's break down exactly what Cody admitted and why it's potentially a massive federal legal problem. When you apply for a mortgage, lenders scrutinize every single dollar coming your way. They need to know where your down payment is coming from because it affects your ability to repay the loan. Borrowed money increases your debt load, shifts your debt-to-income ratio, and can make the difference between approval or denial. That's why gift letters exist. A gift letter is a legal document signed by both the giver and the receiver, stating clearly, this money is a gift, not a loan, with no strings attached. Banks require it to ensure the borrower isn't secretly taking on debt that could jeopardize mortgage payments. Lying on a gift letter? That's fraud. Cody and Robin needed Janelle's money to qualify for their Flagstaff mansion. Without it, they didn't have enough for the down payment. Janelle, trusting her family, signed the gift letter. The bank approved the loan based on that representation. For years, everything seemed fine. Until Cody, on national television, dropped the bombshell. He repaid Janelle. He settled the debt. He made it right. Except, here's the problem. You can't repay a gift. The moment the money changes hands as repayment, it ceases to be a gift and becomes a loan that should have been disclosed to the lender. By admitting he paid her back, Cody is essentially confessing that the gift letter was false, that he and Robin misrepresented the money to a financial institution. And legally, that falls squarely under mortgage fraud. The technical terms? False statements to a financial institution under Title 18, United States Code Section 1014. It can also be considered bank fraud if there was intent to deceive for loan approval. Maximum penalty? Up to 30 years in prison or $1 million in fines. Realistically, many cases result in lighter sentences, but the point is clear. This is a federal crime, and Cody just admitted to it on camera. Now consider Janelle's impossible position. She can't pursue legal action to get her money back without exposing the fraud herself. If she claims it was actually a loan, she's admitting she knowingly signed a false gift letter. She would, effectively, be implicating herself in the scheme, even though she's clearly the victim. She lost $100,000. She was misled by Cody's promises that he'd take care of her later. But because she trusted the paperwork, she has no legal recourse. Cody knows this, and he's betting on it. Janelle is trapped in a financial nightmare with no way out. She's the victim of a con, plain and simple. And the system, legal documents, signed statements, and on-camera admissions protects Cody and Robin while punishing her. Let's look at the facts. Janelle sold her house, a property solely hers. Cody's name wasn't on the title or mortgage. Every penny of equity belonged to her. She could have walked away, secured her future, bought herself a home. Instead, she handed nearly $100,000 over to Cody and Robin so they could move into their dream home, trusting his promise that it was family money benefiting everyone. But here's the catastrophic mistake. She signed a gift letter. Worse, she went on television for years reinforcing Robin's narrative, insisting the money was communal, that it belonged to everyone. Those statements are on record forever, archived, broadcasted, and impossible to erase. So, when Janelle finally consulted a lawyer about reclaiming her money, the answer was devastating. The gift letter is legally binding. Claiming it was a loan? That would be admitting to fraud. And just like that, Janelle's hands are tied, her loss cemented, her victimhood broadcasted, and her options legally non-existent. Cody openly stated on camera that this was family money, that everyone was in agreement, and as far as the law is concerned, Janelle has no grounds to demand repayment. Maddie, Janelle's daughter, sees the injustice clear as day. She watches her mother give $100,000 to Cody and Robin, only to receive broken promises and financial ruin in return. Maddie pushes her mother to fight, to reclaim what was rightfully hers. But Janelle knows the truth. It's a losing battle. She tells Maddie it's a debt issue, that Cody doesn't legally owe her a dime, and that fighting would be more trouble than it's worth. Here's what she's really saying. If I push too hard, we all go down. If Cody admits he repaid her or promised repayment, he's confessing to mortgage fraud. If Janelle claims the money was always meant to be a loan, she's confessing to mortgage fraud too. The only people truly at risk are Cody and Robin. They're the ones who signed the documents, misrepresented the money as a gift, and misled the lender. But even Janelle could be implicated, caught in the web as someone who helped facilitate the scheme, even if prosecutors generally target the borrowers rather than the gift donors. So she stays silent. She eats the loss. She watches Cody and Robin live in luxury while she struggles, trapped by legal documents, past statements, and the reality that there's nothing she can do without risking everything. Then things got even more suspicious. In 2021, just 2 years after the original purchase, Cody and Robin refinanced their Flagstaff mansion. On the surface, refinancing isn't unusual, but the timing and circumstances here raise serious red flags. Was this an attempt to erase evidence, to bury the questionable gift letter, and cover their tracks? When you refinance, you pay off the old mortgage and take out a brand new loan. New paperwork. New disclosures. A fresh start, potentially without any mention of previous gift letters or dodgy down payment sources. If Cody and Robin refinanced without needing additional documentation, suddenly able to qualify based on their own income and assets, then the original fraud is quietly buried under layers of new mortgage paperwork. Sources suggest this wasn't just about snagging a better interest rate. This was strategic self-preservation. By 2021, the cracks in the Brown family were already visible. Christine was pulling away. Tensions were simmering. And in the middle of it all, Cody and Robin were working behind the scenes, managing risk, protecting themselves, and leaving everyone else to pick up the pieces. The question now is obvious. Was this a calculated move to hide a federal crime while keeping the lavish lifestyle intact? And the more you dig, the darker this story gets. By 2021, Janelle was questioning everything. Mary was practically estranged. And Cody and Robin? They likely realized that sooner or later, someone would start asking uncomfortable questions about how they even afforded that Flagstaff mansion. So what did they do? They refinanced. On paper, refinancing makes sense. Better terms, built-up equity, and a fresh start. But in this case, the timing and circumstances are deeply suspicious. With the refinance, there was suddenly no gift letter on file. Janelle's $100,000? Gone. No paper trail. No documentation connecting her money to the home purchase. Just clean mortgage paperwork showing that Cody and Robin qualified entirely on their own. But here's the thing, refinancing doesn't erase the original fraud. The crime happened in 2019 when they misrepresented Janelle's money as a gift. Whether they refinanced a year later, 5 years later, or never at all, the fraud still occurred. And if Cody repaid Janelle at any point, before or after the refinance, it proves the money was never a gift. It was a loan hidden as a gift, a textbook case of mortgage fraud. Even more suspicious is Cody's timeline. He claims he settled the debt with Janelle earlier this year, saying everything was fair. She told him they were good, and the matter was closed. But Janelle tells a completely different story. On camera, she says she'll probably never see that money again, calling it a debt issue, and acknowledging that any lawyer would tell her she has no grounds to demand repayment. So, who's telling the truth? Did Cody fake the repayment to save face and look like the good guy? Or did he actually give her the money? An outright admission of fraud? The stories don't line up, and the deeper you dig, the clearer it becomes that someone is lying. And Robin's behavior only underscores the shady reality. Robin has turned weaponizing fragility into an art form, especially when it comes to the Coyote Pass situation. She's not just avoiding conflict. She's strategically positioning herself as too emotionally delicate to face accountability. Cody eats it up, as always. He doesn't question, doesn't push. He just shields her while managing all the fallout himself. When Cody tells Robin he needs a call with Janelle about the property, she immediately asks if she is to attend. Cody says, probably not, and she breathes a sigh of relief, claiming it's too heartbreaking, too stressful for her fragile emotions. But the reality is different. Robin is manipulating Cody, playing the damsel in distress. By doing this, she essentially forces him to handle all the messy conversations while keeping herself insulated. Think about it. Robin can sit through Cody tearing into the other wives on national television, but now she's too fragile for a simple business discussion? She shields herself from accountability, avoids questions about the money, dodges explaining why she claimed it was family money for years, and never has to look Janelle in the eye about living in a mansion partially funded by Janelle's hard-earned savings. But here's the sinister layer. Robin is laying the groundwork to spin the narrative in her favor. She's already framed the other wives and the kids as unsafe, claiming she must protect her children from them. And mark these words, it's only a matter of time before she starts painting Janelle, Christine, and Mary as abusive, harassing, and threatening. She'll twist the story until she becomes the eternal victim and everyone else is cast as the villain. In the Browns' world, perception is power, and Robin is playing her cards with masterful precision.